right, so today you are learning about Newton's second law of motion, and Newton's second law says that the magnitude of force, and magnitude is a number, so the number associated with force is equal to the mass multiplied by the acceleration. So we're going to work through some practice problems here with math associated with that. You're going to need something to write with, a calculator, and then maybe a highlighter if you want to highlight your answers. So these force practice problems are in your Newton's second law of motion packet. So to get started, it says draw the force triangle and label each section, remember units. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll use this triangle as a reference while we work all of our problems on down the page. So our formula is force equals mass times acceleration. So force is going to go at the top of the triangle. Mass and acceleration are going to go at the bottom, and that's the only way that we can multiply the two of them, is for them to be at the bottom of the triangle. A is acceleration, and remember from last unit, the units are meters per second squared. M is mass, and it is measured in kilograms. And that means that force, what we get when we multiply mass times acceleration, kilograms times meter per second squared, is going to be a combination of those units. It's a kilogram times a meter per second squared. And Sir Isaac Newton got tired of writing that, so he started calling it a Newton. And a Newton is the unit for force, and it's a kilogram meter per second squared. So that's what we're going to write it as. All right, so problem number 1 says, what is the acceleration of a 30 kilogram chair that is moved by a 25 Newton force? So 30 kilograms is going to be our mass, and 25 newtons is going to be our force, and we're looking for acceleration. So we're going to draw our triangle. And of course, I would like for you to pause the video and figure this out yourself, and then resume the video and see if you got it right. That would be ideal. So our 25 Newton force goes at the top of the triangle. My 30 kilogram mass goes down here, and I'm looking for acceleration. So one on top of the other, I'm going to divide. Acceleration equals 25 newtons divided by 30 kilograms. I punch that in my calculator. Top number goes in the calculator first, and it's 0.83. I'm going to draw a line over the top of the 3 because it continues on. And our units for acceleration, just like last unit, are meters per second squared. Remember, you can go back and take that answer and plug it in and check your work. Number 2, what is the force of a 100 kilogram object that is thrown with an acceleration of 12 meters per second squared? So this time I'm looking for force. Force is at the top of the triangle. So I'm going to plug in my mass of 100 kilograms. I'm going to plug in my acceleration of 12 meters per second squared, and side by side means I multiply. So force equals 100 kilograms times 12 meters per second squared. So force is 1,200. 12 times 100 is 1,200 kilogram meter per second squared. And remember, Sir Isaac Newton got tired of writing all that, so he said, I'm going to call it a Newton. 1,200 newtons is our answer. Number 3, what is the mass of an object that accelerates at 4.3 meters per second squared by a 15 Newton force? We've got all the pieces. We're looking for that one variable. This time it's mass. Mass is right here. The acceleration is 4.3 meters per second squared, and 15 newtons is my force. So I have to divide 15 newtons divided by 4.3 meters per second squared. Can't do that one in my head. 15 divided by 4.3, and my mass equals 3. Can y'all see that one? We've got to round it. 3.4. This 8 is going to round that 8 to a 9. And then mass is measured in kilograms. Okay, so we're going to switch it up a little bit with this problem. Number 4, what is the weight? Remember, weight is the force of gravity pushing down on an object. So when they ask you to find weight, you're really looking for a force. The object has a mass of 2 kilograms, and that's all they tell me. So there's a number here that I have to know. It's associated with gravity because weight is the force of gravity. What's the number that we have to memorize that's an acceleration for gravity? In high school it's 9.8, but in middle school you round it to 10 meters per second squared. That's the acceleration for gravity here on Earth. So force, which is really weight, equals 2 kilograms times 10 meters per second squared. And 2 times 10 is 20 kilograms times a meter per second squared, and our weight is 20 newtons. So anytime you're doing a problem and it seems like you're missing a piece of information and it has to do with weight, we know that it's that acceleration number for gravity. Number 5, what is the mass of an object that has a weight of 500 newtons? So for these, I'm looking for the mass. I know the weight is 500 newtons. The newtons gives me a clue that it's the force. And I got to know this acceleration number here. That's going to be 10 meters per second squared. So mass is going to be 500 divided by 10. So those zeros cancel and it's 50 over 1, which is 50. And our units for mass, going back to the top of the page, are kilograms. Number 6, what is the weight of an object that has a mass of 2.5 kilograms? So we're doing the same thing again. We're looking for weight. That's the force of gravity. The mass is 2.5 kilograms. Our missing number we have to memorize is 10 meters per second squared. Side by side we multiply, so force equals 2.5 kilograms times 10 meters per second squared. And 2.5 times 10 is 25 kilogram meter per second squared, which is a newton. Number 7, what is the mass of an object that has a weight of 36 newtons? One more time, weight is the force of gravity, so 36 newtons goes on top. We're looking for mass, and that number we have to memorize is 10 meters per second squared. What will it be at the high school? Remember, it'll be 9.8. So my mass is 36 newtons divided by 10 meters per second squared. 36 divided by 10 is 3.6. And then our units for mass are going to be kilograms. Okay, make sure you're showing all your work on these. Every one of these problems should have a triangle drawn Every one of these numbers should have units with them, no naked numbers. All right, two left to go. Number 8, a 10-kilogram bowling ball and a 3-kilogram tennis ball are dropped at the same time from a 4-story building. Which will hit the ground first? This seems to get people all the time. 10-kilogram bowling ball, big old heavy bowling ball, and a little old light tennis ball are dropped from a 4-story building from the same height. Who's going to hit the ground first? They will hit at the same time. The acceleration of gravity is the same for all falling objects, 9.8 meters per second squared. We round it to 10. They will hit at the same time. The only reason they wouldn't is if air resistance were a factor, like it is with a sheet of paper or a feather or a leaf. Now, question number 9 is what most people are thinking of. In the problem above, calculate the force the bowling ball and tennis ball will hit the ground. Okay? So I'm kind of run out of room here, so I'm going to have to kind of draw some little triangles. So we're going to calculate the force of the bowling ball, that's BB, and the force of the tennis ball, TB. So I'm going to draw my triangles, and I'm going to plug in my information that I know. I'm calculating the force, so I'm going to put F at the top of each of those triangles. And I know that the mass of the bowling ball is 10 kilograms. I know that the mass of the tennis ball is 3 kilograms. And that's all I know. I'm missing this piece of information. Have we figured out what that is? It's going to be 10 meters per second squared. That's the rate at which gravity accelerates falling objects here on Earth. So side by side, I'm going to multiply those numbers. And the force of the bowling ball is 10 times 10, 100 kilogram meter per second squared. That's a Newton. For the tennis ball, 3 times 10, the force of the tennis ball is 30 kilogram meter per second squared, which is 30 newtons. So even though they will hit the ground at the same time, the bowling ball will hit with a much greater force because it has a greater mass. It has a greater inertia. It's harder to stop because it's more massive. Okay? I've enjoyed working these problems out with you, and let me know or your teacher know if you have any questions.